one more little video lecture for you all. I have a really good friend of mine, and he and I have a lot of information and experience, and I'm going to say this. He has a tremendous amount of knowledge and experience, martial arts training and skill. A tremendous amount of fighting experience, actually fighting, a tremendous amount. And he works with me on a regular basis to develop things. We really can't make videos together for public consumption. And a few I had to take down quickly simply because people on Facebook and YouTube would make comments about our physique. And some pretty really horrible stuff. And this friend of mine, he served in the military around the same time I did, in the 80s. I think he went in maybe a year or two after me and got out maybe a year or two after me as well. He went to commando school. He had a lot of experience in what they call alert patrols. A lot of experience actually on the street. He lived on the street for a period of time when he got out of the military. And a lot of veterans that get out have a little bit of trouble right away when they come back, getting back into the fold of society. It's not a secret that happens. And luckily for myself, I had a different path. And I went through struggles too, but nothing like some of my friends. Anyway, this guy has an enormous amount of experience, real world experience, both on the job and like I said, he did spend some time really in some rough areas of the Fort Worth, Dallas area, as have I. We can't really make videos for you to help you get better by sharing our experience because of the 30, 20-year-olds who just happen to say, you can't be any good because you gained weight. Which really is horrible, but we understand that's society. And so behind the scenes, often he is extraordinary at helping develop new training programs, excellent training programs that we are rolling out for the last 5 or 7 years, directly to, private sources. And some of the stuff I will share publicly, but most of it's only to a select group of people who we value and we share that actual training with. We do share the knowledge sometimes through small clips on YouTube and Facebook. And a lot of times, even when I'm training with a younger, more athletic a person, I still get these comments about my own physique, which I can't say it really bothers me, other than to say, what are you so close-minded that you can't look at what's being taught instead of look at the person who's teaching it? Now, the last 6 months or so, I've been going to the gym and working out. So is my friend, but spending time in the gym and with dietary changes and so forth, that's slow going after 50. The results are not so easy to obtain. And I actually have people call me and say, hey, try this and this. I had a gentleman call me a couple weeks ago and said, I see you're doing this extra work. Can you try this? And I think it will help you a lot with the weight gain and losing that weight. And I really appreciated that because he didn't have to do that, and he wasn't rude in any way about it. He actually shared his own personal journey and struggle. So I'm 61 years old now, and it's a little bit harder at my age, but I do try to hit the gym 3 or more times a week, sometimes even twice in one day. And I only get to teach about 20 hours a week now, because I'm working full time as a school resource officer, and I have close to 50, maybe 55 officers that I supervise, and that is a lot of work. Even after work, I'm working with these people and getting them training and getting their needs met. So when I spend the time to share with you the stuff I'm working on at my school, now forget, you don't have to buy the videos, bro. I don't care about that. I mean, great if you do. If you don't, that's your loss, not mine. And some of it I won't even share with you in the general public anyway, because I know you're just going to steal the information and use it yourself after you already say it's no good. Then you'll figure out, oh, geez, this stuff does work, and especially the close quarter stuff. And then you'll say you invented it, because not a lot of people are doing the stuff that we're working on now. And there's more stuff coming out that, if you've been watching my posts the last few days, you're gonna understand what I'm talking about. And if you don't, well, that's your own loss by not paying attention. Now, I'm not arrogant to think that I'm up here. I don't consider myself a grandmaster or a master. I have 39 years of training, and according to this little chart I saw, that makes you a certain level, 39 years. 38 is the cutoff. And I'm past that. But I don't use those titles for myself. People call me Sifu. Actually, even people that I work with will use that word to me, and they don't know what it actually, they think it's my name because people call me that. People know me as that, but I don't require that. And if you say John, I will answer now, whereas 4 years ago, I actually wouldn't know who you were talking to. Now, the lecture part here is, why don't you try looking past your own ego and your own mindset of strength and speed and all this dominate. And they definitely can. But over hundreds and hundreds of hours of working in the field, in real life situations, and thousands of hours of reviewing other people's experiences in close combat, you will see that, that's not actually the case most of the time. That the bigger, stronger person necessarily doesn't prevail. Oftentimes it's the more sneaky person, or the person who strikes first because they're willing to strike. And I think that's well documented. For most people with experience, you understand. The willingness to act is far more important than skill. Because you could be the most skilled person and complacent and ignorant of the threat, and you could end up in real trouble quickly. And something that we noted, and I've noted, is that the tendency to reach to defend oneself often is not successful. Which doesn't mean not to do that. It's just do it at the right time. So please, when you're looking at people's videos, and it doesn't matter who it is, there's a really famous guy, and I think he's kind of YouTube famous and maybe really unknown in just, he's not a household name by any stretch. But those that follow certain things are going to know. They call him Shrek McVie or John McVie, also known as the Sheriff of Baghdad. You look at that guy and you're going to go, wow, it's just a normal. He looks actually a little bit like me. Just a little thicker here in the beard. We have the same bod, type, what he calls a dad bod. This dude has a vast amount of experience in combat, and you would look at him and think nothing of him. And so remember that when you're talking crap about people who are maybe a little bit older and maybe not in perfect shape, but they're trying to share martial arts or other knowledge with you. It's funny because you wouldn't go to someone who has knowledge of paintings or art, and you wouldn't make fun of what kind of shape they're in, because you're interested in that subject they're teaching about. With martial arts, though, people are vicious and rude and snotty and inexperienced, unskilled, unknowledgeable, and make a lot of bold statements. So when you do that, and you're 28 and you've had 3 fights in MMA or whatever, understand this. Yes, he's a Delta operator. Understand this. You really are limited in your experience because you were in an MMA fight 3 or 4 times or whatever, and you sparred. None of those people probably wanted to actually end your life. And that's a different story altogether. And you probably knew you were going to fight that day. And you knew you were in a fight when you got in the ring. When I'm out in the street and I'm doing this thing, I have to interact with people who very, very much could be dangerous and have very, very little to lose because of their circumstance. But I treat them like human beings. And that goes a long way for me to keep safe. I don't have to be a jerk to be firm. And so thank you for Saul and those people who took the time out to listen to me rant a little bit. But I really got a little frustrated with some comments made. And I wanted to share that with you. Maybe you should think a little bit more. Maybe we all should, including me. When we make a comment about someone's video, try to see it from their point of view. Try to understand what they're doing. If you have tips or pointers or ideas, you can share that, but don't do it in a rude way. You don't know everything. You haven't been where they've been, possibly. And personally, I made some comments on a police training video recently, and, well, it really depends regionally, what region of the United States, just in the United States you're in, what level of training law enforcement will get. Even in just my area of Texas, there are vastly different opportunities to train for officers, and you might say this department is more political, and they're not going to let you do this kind of training because that could be held against them. They could be liable. Another department will give you no training with physical skills or restraints because they want to use tools instead, because there's less liability in tools than there is in the judgment call of physical control. Let's just say that. Every place is different. Every department has different policies. You're definitely going to have different levels of in a SWAT environment than you will in just a small department. A sheriff department or a state law enforcement agency is going to have different skill sets to share. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. And I respect your opinion highly. And so I really appreciate your comment. So when you're out there and you're throwing shade on people, if I'm using that term correctly, just remember maybe you don't have their experience, you don't have their knowledge base. And maybe, yeah, he's in his 60s and he didn't maintain his physique the way he would have wanted to. He's aware of that. I'm aware of that. Yet we really are still trying to keep doing it. I'm still training, and I'm over 60, and it hurts. So remember that when we share things with you, it's maybe a level you're not prepared to understand, so you should shut your mouth. Last comment, please don't be a dummy.